Now let's install the Counter Fraud Tools client. So that's the Windows 2012 machine. And again, just for reference, that's this machine right here, this VM. Create a folder called Distribution Media. Open that up. It should be in the root of your C drive. And then from your source where you downloaded your media, drag it over to that folder and click Extract. And then remove this so that all you see is C:/distribution media. And then click Extract. Once done, all of those files should be extracted into a single folder, and that folder is called Distribution Media. Now, right-click on CFM Install Kit, Win Client, and extract it, and make sure that it goes directly into the C drive like this. That will create a CFM 2.0 folder that looks like that. Now, double-click on IBM Java SDK and run that. Click on OK. Click Finish. Go to a command prompt and type this, and then go to Environment Variables and go down to New, and then enter Java Home, enter that value, hit OK, and OK, and OK. Close the window behind it here, our command prompt. Then navigate here and open up the CFM Client Properties template. And we're going to use the -s option, so you need to make sure that the host name is accurate. So go into PowerShell here, hit CMD, type in sysdm, and then under computer name, go to change. Make sure that it says client or something like that, and then under more, that it says ibm.com. Or, of course, whatever you're using in your environment. And, of course, be sure that you can ping client IBM.com as well as ping client. If you need to, you can also do this, where you put a -4. That'll give you the IP version 4 address. So in my environment, I'm using these values here. Save that file. Now open up the command prompt and copy that. Then go here, right-click, paste it, and go in here. Now enter this batch file command and do a -s and hit enter. If you get this message, hit D to do not run, and then go here to where it says C:/CFM 2.0 bin main, and you'll notice that there are two PowerScript files here. So right click on the first one, unblock it, click apply, go to the second one, right click on it, go to properties, unblock it, and try it again. So I'll clear off the screen and rerun. Now monitor the screen to be sure that you're not getting any errors. Once the client install piece is completed successfully, you should see OK, and completed successfully messages. Now open Internet Explorer, type in core.ibm.com/res, click this button and then OK, click Continue, uncheck this box and click Add, and keep doing this until the page loads. Now click on this icon here, go down to View Certificates, Install Certificate, Local Machine, Next, place in the following store, go to Trusted Root, OK, Next, and Finish. And you should see import was successful and OK. Now close the browser and open it back up again. And this time you shouldn't see an error like we saw before. Then follow the instructions over here. You'll see export was successful. Then modify the command down here so that it fits your environment. For example, we don't go to Tools as it says here. And then hit Enter. Type yes to accept the certificate. To list out the certificates in a store, run this command and you'll see all of them. You can whittle that down by typing a pipe to find str with case insensitive, that's /i core, and then see the result. Or if you want the details of just that particular certificate by using its alias, run this command and you'll get those details. Now create a new folder called temp and then extract the contents of this file into that folder. So remove this last piece and then hit extract. Now open up the Win64 directory, the folder, and then run this. Then click OK and it should look like this. Then click on Next and accept the license agreement. Install the to that location, click Next. Click Install. Then click on Done. Then Next. Leave that value, click Next. Then click Next to install it, and then Finish once it's done. Now open CMD and type Control. Click System and Security, and then Administrative Tools, and then ODBC 64-bit. Now if you're not running as administrator, right click and then Run as administrator. Then go to System DSN, click Add, and then enter the find IBM SPSS OEM, and then click OK or Finish, and that'll bring up this window. Then enter these values, which you can check here with CFMDB, so it's CFDB, and 55100 for the port number, and all of that, of course, is this properties file. Then type in your DB24 core username, which you can confirm is indeed listed here. Then click Test Connect. Type in your password, click OK, and you should see this. Do a CD into this directory and type db2cmd. Enter a command like this, press Enter. Then make sure that works, then enter a command like this. Then go back to the ODBC tool, click Add, select this. Enter these values, click OK. Then click on it and then click on Configure. Enter your values, click Connect. Make sure it says Connection Tested Successfully. And click OK. Now we'll install the Integration Toolkit. And because of the highlighting on the left, you do need to make sure that the system is running. It should be running post-installation, but in case it's not, you'll need to manually start it, which I'll do here. And if yours has started and you want to follow along anyway, all you have to do is change this from start to stop so that you can stop everything, and then once that's done, do start. And you will start at the data server. And then we'll move to the analytics server and do the same. Notice that the only thing changing in these two commands is this part, analytics or data at the end. Make sure the analytics server starts and then move on to core. That looks good. Now let's just double check WAS. So to do that, go to this URL, click login. Click on servers, go to all servers. If ICM server has a red X on it like here, click it and then click start. Since that might take a little while, if you'd like to monitor the activity, go to the core server and issue this command and you can watch the progress. And WebSphere is actually loading all of the applications one by one here. Back in WAS, you may see this message and it says you may need to refresh, so let's do that. We'll click on all servers again. That looks good, and you can double check by going to applications, all applications, and just being sure that all of these come up green. By turning that web application on, you can then go to this URL and accept the certificate if you don't have a public certificate like we don't here, and that should open up Counter Fraud Management, the GUI, like this. Now click Start and then type in Toolkit. That should show you this. Click on it. That should show you this. Click here. Then click here and connect to a remote node. Type in these values and click Finish. Make sure at least that you can open this. You can also open the web interface if you like. Now let's move on to MQ Explorer. We'll minimize this. In this step, you'll need to copy a file from the Red Hat server to the Windows machine. So I'm going to download WinSCP, but FileZilla or something similar would work too. Here I've downloaded WinSCP. I'll click Next and basically Next all the way through. Enter these values, click on Save. I'm going to click on Save Password. You don't have to do that. Click Login. You can accept any keys, and that should bring you to a window that looks like this. Now go and copy this path, and we're going to open it over here by selecting that icon and pasting. Then I'm going to navigate on the left to my Downloads folder, and I'll take the keyring client JKS and copy it over. Now we need to start MQ Explorer, so click on Start, type in MQ, and now you should see MQ Explorer. Open that. Right click here, add a new remote queue manager. Enter CFQM and click Next. Enter these values and click Next. Here click Next. Here also click Next. On this screen click Enable, Browse, and then go to your downloads and open the JKS. Now click Next. Here click Enable SSL and select this. Now click Finish and enter the password for the key store. You can confirm that password by going here and looking here. That should let you now expand this out, click Queues, and then see your queues. And you can click here to get configuration information. Now we'll move on to the SPSS portion. Open up a command prompt and type in this command. Now click on Start and type in SPSS and click Deployment Manager. Also, if you like, I tend to right-click on any of these icons, all of the MQ Explorer and the rest, and then select Pin to Taskbar. And then after it loads, which you'll see down here, you'll have the icons always on the taskbar. That'll also let you take icons that are already running and pin them as well, so you can take Explorer and the others. This one may not, so that would be IIT or IIB, but you can do that separately by clicking Start, typing in Toolkit, right-clicking, and Pin to Taskbar. Okay, now open up CNDS, which is SPSS Collaboration and Deployment Services. We just tend to call that informally CNDS. Then go to Content, File New, Content Server Connection. Now type in these values. Make sure it's HTTP, not HTTPS, and port 9080. Then click Finish and expand this out. You should get username and password prompt. You can check the username and password here, admin and Counter Fraud 1. Enter those values, click OK. Now that we've closed CNDS, go ahead and open it back up. Double click, log back in. Okay, then expand here, right click servers, and do a new server definition. Then enter these values here, click next. Enter these values here, click finish. Now go up to credentials, right click, go to new credentials definition. Type in modeler, go to next. Type in these values here, which come from here, and click finish. Now go down to servers, right click, new server definition. Enter repository, click next. Type in this value here, click finish. Now go to credentials, right click, go to new credential definition. Type repository, click next. Type in these values, click on finish. Go down to data sources, right click, go to new data source definition. Type counter fraud, ODBC data source, click next. Type counter fraud and click finish. Go back to credentials, right click, go to new credentials definition. Type database, click next. Type in your DB24 core credentials, click finish. Go to analytics ibm.com, port 9080/DM, and that's HTTP, not HTTPS. For the secure version, go to core.ibm.com/DM using HTTPS. That page should look like this. Type in your admin username and password, click login. You may need to refresh the page with Control-Shift-R if you're still seeing the admin login prompt and then also seeing this in the background. Okay, now let's configure IBM Data Studio. Click Start and type Data Studio Client, right click, go to Pin to Taskbar, click it. Enter workspace path or just click OK. Expand this out, right click CFDB, click Connect. Enter DB24 core and your password. Those values come from here. Click on OK. Click on Tables, just to be sure that you see a list of tables. That should look roughly like this. Open up a command prompt and go to this path here. Notice that we are going to use the instructions for a self-signed certificate. Open up the login page, go to the padlock, go down to View Certificates, Details, Copy to File, Next. Click Base 64, Next. Type in a value, click Next. You may already have this file from an earlier step. Make sure it was successful and OK. Now highlight this whole line, copy it, paste it in here to some text editor, and then make any changes if you need to on the alias. For example, I'm taking that out. Copy and paste that into a command prompt. If you get this message here, you can ignore it. We did this already in a previous step. And remember that you can verify the data on the left with this command on the right. Now go to this web page here and download this file. Make sure that you save it to the C:\\. So I'll go here, right click, open the containing folder. Then I'll open the C drive here on the bottom, right drag this file to the bottom and do an extract. And we'll make sure that it extracts to C:\\. Make sure that gives you a work folder. And we'll move on to the next step. I'm going to skip this step. This is because you have to download these from services or from the development team. And then once you have them, then you would run these SQL scripts, which would be located roughly here, and your pack would say 2001. Now let's open the business object editor, which is inside the rule designer. So click start and type rule designer or just designer and launch that. I'll also pin that to the taskbar. Select a workspace. And notice that the primary plugin is also the ICFM detection toolkit, and it's also the business object editor, and all of it runs inside ODM. So click on help, go down to install new software, click add, type in the name of your server, click OK. That name, of course, is derived from this. Uncheck this box, check this box, click next, click finish, click OK, click yes to restart. And now we'll move on. Click OK. Click Window, go down to Preferences, and click Counter Fraud. If you get a message like that, this is okay. You need to adjust some settings here. In my case, the server name is wrong here. Go through each of these values, make sure they're accurate. You can see what I'm using here. Click OK. Make sure that you don't get any errors. Go to Window, Open Perspective, Other, CF Detection, and then notice at the top, this menu item just appeared. Okay, we'll go to the next page. Go to Window, go down to Preferences, go to Counter Fraud, scroll all the way down, click Browse, and then navigate to C:\CFM20. Right click, go to New, Text Document, and type in configurable overrides, like it says below. Select the file, click Open, and then we're not actually going to populate that file, but we are going to create it. Click OK. And that's everything for setting up the client.